Discover the amazing moment a black waiter turned the tables on a Chinese billionaire. Heartwarming justice. In a bustling diner in downtown Chicago, the sizzle of burgers and the clatter of dishes filled the air like a symphony of hard work and dreams. Harold, a 32-year-old black waiter, moved like a dancer through the chaos, balancing trays piled high with golden fries and juicy cheeseburgers. With each smile he flashed at customers, his heart felt the weight of his family's struggles, a sick mother and bills that seemed to multiply. But deep down, he burned with hope, a flicker bright enough to light his family's path towards a better life. That afternoon, the diner buzzed with an unusual energy. The door swung open, and in strode Mr. Chen, a billionaire who oozed arrogance with every step. His expensive suit looked out of place among the grease-stained aprons, and his entourage churned through the aisles like a tidal wave, leaving stunned patrons in their wake. Harold's instincts screamed about the impending storm, and his heart pounded as he watched Mr. Chen criticize the bright-eyed young waitress, Sarah, who trembled under the weight of his demands. "Get me a double cheeseburger. And make it quick," Mr. Chen barked, his voice dripping with disdain. A chill coursed through Harold. He had seen this look many times, the glances that whispered judgment on workers like him. With clenched fists, he fought to brush it off, memories of his late grandfather's wisdom echoing in his mind, a reminder to stand firm against injustice. As the diner continued to swirl around him, Harold overheard snippets of conversation from nearby tables. Whispers spoke of Mr. Chen's shady business practices, of how he was systematically sabotaging local businesses to build his empire. The fire in Harold's belly ignited again, fueled by anger and the loyalty of his co-workers, who exchanged looks of solidarity. He knew then that he could not let this slide. Weeks passed, and the annual charity event at the diner approached. It was a chance for Harold to confront Mr. Chen publicly. Gathering evidence of the billionaire's misdeeds, he prepared himself for the moment that could change everything. No longer an onlooker, Harold felt his community rally behind him, their hopes, fragility, and resilience intertwined with his own. Finally, the night arrived. Heart racing and palms sweating, Harold stood tall before the crowd, eyes trained on Mr. Chen. "You threaten our community for profit," he declared, his voice steady despite the avalanche of fear cascading down his spine. Gasps rippled through the diner, voices murmur in disbelief. Harold's heart pounded, but determination pulsed more fiercely. Here lay the essence of hope and resistance. Suddenly, his phone buzzed, vibrating like an impending storm within him. He dared a glance. It was a message about his mother's health. The world tilted. Balancing the fight for his community with the weight of personal loss wasn't easy. But both battles mattered deeply to him. The diners held their breath, poised on the edge of history. Would Harold's courage inspire change, or would the shadow of despair loom larger than life? The diner braced itself for the next chapter, caught between the fight for justice and the love that threatened to pull him back down. Harold's heart raced as he met Mr. Chen's piercing gaze. The billionaire's eyes glinted with fury, his smug expression faltering for just a moment as the crowd's tension wrapped around them like a vice. Nobody had dared to challenge him before. Now here was this waiter, bare of power, taking the fight to a man who had only ever known how to intimidate. "You know what these people are worth, Mr. Chen?" Harold pushed on, voice rising to match his pounding heart. He turned slightly, encompassing the crowd that had gathered, a sea of anxious faces. "You think you can walk in here, crush dreams, and just take whatever you want? This diner is more than just a place to eat. It's our lifeline." Around him, whispers surged, words of encouragement, solidarity, disbelief. Each minute, it felt like he was gathering strength, drawing from the shared humanity of everyone present. But then, the reminder of his mother's health pulled him back. He held on to that worry like a lifeline, grounding him even as he launched into a confrontation. "How many businesses have you ruined this month alone?" he challenged. "How many people have you broken for your empire? This ends tonight." Mr. Chen stepped forward, disdain plastered across his face. "You think you can embarrass me here? You are nothing but a peon." His voice sliced through the air, but Harold stood his ground, refusing to be cast aside like the plates stacked in the back. From the crowd, a voice rang out, a familiar one that made the color drain from Harold's face. It was Sarah. "He's right," she shouted. "We are not just waiters and cashiers, we are parents, students, dreamers. You can't take that away from us." That simple act of courage ignited a ripple effect. Other voices joined in, filling the diner with a chorus of defiance. It was a mix of ordinary customers and fellow workers standing firm against a giant. It dawned on Harold that they weren't just backing him, they were giving him the courage to push through his own fears. Feeling the tide rise, Harold took a deep breath, his heart thumping in time with the energy around him. "Tonight, we stand together. We will not let you destroy us. Our stories matter." As he spoke, he caught the edge of a smile on the face of an elderly man at the back of the diner, who had spent years supporting this community with his modest savings. Something inside Harold flickered, a flame igniting within him, spreading warmth into the cold, calculating AIR. Chen's demeanor shifted, fury transforming to a mask of calculation as he assessed the rising tide of resistance. "You think you can pit people against me?" he sneered. "I control the narrative, and I'll crush you." Harold could feel the words like arrows, but he refused to flinch. Instead, he leaned into the moment. The diner, a place filled with dreams and stories, felt electric. This was about more than just him now, it was about everyone who had suffered under the weight of a greedy few. But just as hope surged, ringing through the air, another text buzzed on Harold's phone. He glanced down and felt the earth beneath him shatter. The hospital. The urgency in the message hit him like a fist to the gut. His mother needed him, caught between fighting for his community and the desperate call of family. He felt the ground tilt again. What could he do? As he stood frozen between two worlds, the diner waited, holding its breath. Would he fight for change, or rush to his mother's side? One decision could flip his life upside down. And with that, the next chapter hung in the air, asking the question with bated breath: what price would he pay for justice? Harold's mind raced as his thumb hovered over the screen of his phone, the message demanding attention, pulling him in two different directions. He could feel his pulse quickening, his heart splitting into sharp beats as he stole a glance at the anxious crowd. They were watching him, waiting for his next move. Mr. Chen's sneer only widened. "You're weak, just like the rest of them. What, do you think playing the hero will spare you?" The billionaire's voice dripped with contempt, as if Harold were nothing more than a nuisance in his grand plan, but Harold shook off the weight of fear. His mother's health had always been a priority. She fought through illnesses, instilled strength in him. Still, the cries of his friends and co-workers filled his ears, drowning out the looming panic. "They're counting on you, don't let them down," he murmured to himself, the words barely audible. "You're wrong, Mr. Chen," he finally spoke aloud, surprising even himself with clarity. "I refuse to be intimidated by your money or your power. This community is worth fighting for." More eyes locked onto him, the worry and pride folding seamlessly into each other. He felt the reassurance of shared hope, determined not to break. "My mother taught me to stand up for what's right, even if it's hard. And I won't let her down tonight." He caught sight of Sarah again, standing tall, her chin up. The flicker of courage in her eyes pushed a surge through him. The rising voices behind him created a thunderous wave that shattered the tense silence of the diner. "We deserve to be heard," roared one man. "Our lives matter," echoed a woman, clenching her fists. There was strength here, not just in numbers, but in conviction. "Look at them, Mr. Chen." Harold gestured freely, facing the gathering. "This is a community, not your playground. We will not be dismissed. We are dreams, hopes, and hard work. You may think you can take what you want, but we have each other." He saw it then, the flickers of recognition stirring in the faces, intermingling with their own frustrations. They joined his battle, and he felt their conviction wrap around him like armor. Yet, the persistence of worry tugged at him. The steely walls of the hospital loomed in his mind, demanding his attention. What if he lost his chance to be with his mother? What if it was too late? The weight of it crushed down on him. Suddenly, Mr. Chen stepped back, a mock look of pity washing over him. What a touching story, he scoffed. But do you truly think this weighs against my influence? Harold felt a chill sweep through the diner. Maybe not, he replied, voice steady. But strength lies in unity. You may have wealth, but we have heart. The crowd erupted into cheers. Each shout rang louder than the last, an unstoppable wave of determination. Harold felt tears pricking his eyes. The love surrounding him pulsed like a living heartbeat, reminding him that life, dreams, and families were worth fighting for. But deep down, he felt that sharp pang of urgency about his mother. With one last reprieve, he stole another glance at his phone, and it struck him there had to be a way to balance both worlds. Let us show Mr. Chen what we can accomplish together, he shouted, and the crowd roared in agreement. Yet behind that defiance lingered the shadow of doubt. Would standing up for his community cost him his mother? As he locked eyes with Sarah, determination coursed through him, a silent pact forged in mutual dreams. I will fight, but how? The question echoed in the dim diner as the chatter rose around him. What could he possibly choose next? Would the battle for justice swallow him whole, or could he somehow find a way to embrace both? Harold's heart raced as the crowd's energy surged around him, a living place full of raw emotion. I'll stand strong, he whispered to himself, but doubts clung to him like shadows. He caught Sarah's eye, and her unwavering gaze provided a beacon of strength. She stepped forward, confidence radiating from her. What do we want? She shouted, the enthusiasm infectious. Justice. The crowd erupted, their voices intertwining in an anthem of hope. It felt like the walls themselves resonated with their cries. And when do we want it? Sarah pressed, her enthusiasm unwavering. Now. Came the reply, echoing off the diner's windows. Harold felt that momentum filling the air like fireworks igniting a night sky. But beneath it, a gnawing worry still festered. Every cheer, every proclamation carried with it the weight of his mother's health. Mr. Chen's expression darkened, like thunderclouds gathering on the horizon. You think this will change anything? He scoffed, his eyes narrowing. You're fighting a losing battle. His gaze swept over the crowd dismissively. But the people weren't backing down. They were rising like a tide. We are not losers, shouted a man with a bushy beard. We're stronger together. Harold stole a breath, feeling the growing fire inside him. Mr. Chen, he said, raising his voice above the booming chaos, while you see us as expendable, we see our lives intertwined. This isn't just business, it's our home. The murmurs transformed into shouts of support. I grew up here. A woman chimed in, anger lacing her words. My mother worked 2 jobs to keep this shop open. I can't let you walk all over that. Enough. Mr. Chen roared, and for a breathtaking moment, silence enveloped them. Yet it was short-lived. Fear only holds us back. Harold shouted into the tense air. His heart pounded. Let us remind him who fuels this community. A hydrogen bomb of energy exploded from the crowd. They were reclaiming their power. Harold felt palpable warmth washing over him. It was more than solidarity, it was a promise. Every voice behind him coursed through him like a rush of lifeblood. We will not fade into shadows. Harold shouted, catching everyone's attention. Not today, not ever. But even as excitement surged through the room, doubt still lurked within him. Was he sacrificing his chance to be by his mother's side for a fleeting moment of resolve? Could he fight for both? Think about your families, he urged. Think about what we love and what we build together. We can be both warriors for this community and loving children. Then he paused, his heart pleading with his mind. The undeniable truth struck him. Let us find a way to ensure our voices are heard while looking after those we love. His words seemed to lift the room. A chorus of agreement rose among them, stirring a collective desire to fight for their homes while keeping their families close. But deep inside his heart, the phone felt like a weight and anchor pulling him into a storm of consequences. Suddenly, he felt a vibration. His phone lit up. In that moment, everything stood still. He hesitated, the crowd's cheers becoming an echo in his mind. Could a single message redefine everything he thought he knew about love and sacrifice? He glanced down, breath hitching at the words unfolding before him. Harold, your mother's condition worsened. We need to talk. Fear gripped his chest like ice, paralyzing him for a breath. He looked at Sarah and saw her concern reflected in her eyes. The tumult of emotion threatened to crumble his very foundation. Could this be the moment that forces him to choose between heart and home? As wavering confidence washed over him, he knew the fight was far from over, but the next move was his. How could he hold on to hope and still be there for his mother? Choices lay ahead, and they burned like stars waiting to be released. Harold's heart pounded as he held his phone, the screen buzzing like an angry hive. The crowd around him felt distant, their cheers muffled as if he were underwater. He blinked at the message, its stark reality pulling him in multiple directions. Every word felt like a weight hanging over him, pressing down with the urgency of a ticking clock. Harold. Sarah's voice cut through the haze. She took a step closer, her brow furrowed with worry. What's wrong? His mouth opened, but words tangled together. How could he explain this crushing panic? The dread wrapped around him like a tight-fitting coat, constricting. Here he was, standing in the midst of a crowd eager for justice, yet his heart ached for his mother, the woman who had sacrificed so much for him. Digging deep, he managed to shake his head. I can't. I need to think just a minute. Mr. Chen laughed, smugly observing the turmoil. Decisions. What will you choose? Your family or this ruckus? This is the real world, Harold. Harold's fists clenched at his sides. The words stung, but they also ignited something in him. This isn't just noise. This is us fighting for our lives. He steadied his breath, forcing the crowd to listen. I won't let him divide us. As the crowd responded, their support washed over him like a much-needed rain. But still, he was torn. In this moment, all he wanted was clarity. He glanced once more at his phone. What if he left now? What if he raced to his mother's side, but in doing so, he missed a crucial moment for his community? Around him, voices mixed into a beautiful cacophony. Harold, your voice matters. Someone shouted. I can't abandon my family. He replied, though uncertainty latched onto him like a shadow, whispering doubts that echoed through the thickness of the air. Suddenly, he noted a glimmer of understanding in Sarah's eyes. She stepped forward, her presence grounding. Harold, listen. You have the chance to be both here and there. It's not just about one fight, it's about the countless battles we face every day. Find a way. Finding a way, he mused, the words swirling around like a new mantra. But how? Every scenario presented more challenges than solutions. Hold on to your family, said a voice from the crowd, catching his attention. It was the bushy-bearded man again, but don't lose your love for this place. Leave a part of yourself here while you go to her. We can fight together as you support those who need you. In that moment, clarity struck him like lightning. He could send someone to represent his interests here, a friend, someone strong. The thought of Sarah or even the passionate man stepping into the breach ignited new hope within him. Let us keep this fire burning. He called out, feeling the spirit of the people surge around him. And while I go to my mother, I need you all to step up. Unite for bread, for home, for family. A roar of agreement spiraled through the crowd once more, that thundering sound merging into one. It was a force that resonated in his very bones. But even as hope surged through him, Harold felt the knot of fear tighten once again. What if it's too late? He thought. The phone buzzed in his hand again, breaking him from his thoughts. The text glared at him like a warning. Harold, we really need you here. Time is short. He stood at the crossroads of emotion and realism, the choice etched deep in his heart. There was no going back, only forward. Could he be the bridge between family and community? As he took a deep breath, Harold accepted the challenge, knowing that his next step could change everything. Uncertainty loomed, but so did the possibility of hope. Would Harold find the right path forward, balancing the love for his mother against the fight for his community? Harold felt the ground beneath him shift. The voices of those around him grew in intensity, spurring him on. He took another deep breath, his lungs filling with the energy of his friends and neighbors. The urgency of the moment wrapped around him tightly, reminding him of what was at stake. He was ready to take action, but uncertainty bubbled in his stomach like a storm. "All right, everyone," he shouted, feeling the weight of the crowd on his shoulders. "I need to know who can step up for me while I go check on my mother. This fight isn't over, but I can't fight it alone." He scanned the faces in the crowd, searching for that spark of commitment. Sarah stepped forward, eyes alight with determination. Her presence felt grounding, a reminder that they weren't just individuals in this struggle but a community knit together by shared purpose. "I'll stay. You go be with your mom, Harold. I'll make sure your voice is heard here." A wave of relief mixed with gratitude washed over him. "Thank you, Sarah," he said, his voice cracking slightly. "I can't express how much that means to me." "Don't worry," she replied, her smile unyielding. "We'll keep this momentum going. You just go." As he turned away, the phone buzzed once more in his hand. "Harold. Please hurry. We need you now." The messages read, each word echoing the urgency of the moment. He hurried through the crowd, their cheers fading behind him like whispers in the wind. As he made his way towards the exit, the weight of his decision settled back and he was leaving a fight that meant everything. His throat tightened as he stepped into the street. The chill of the evening air whispered doubts, but he pushed them away. His mother needed him, he had to trust that they could carry on without him. The cab he hailed sped through the trees lining the street. Harold's mind raced with images of his mother. The way she would smile even through her pain. The warmth of her hugs. "Please let me find her in time," he thought, squeezing the phone tightly as if it was a talisman to ward off impending dread. Minutes later, he arrived at the hospital. The sterile scent of antiseptic filled the air, mixing with the anxiety coursing through him. As he rushed inside, he found the receptionist and quickly learned which room his mother was in. Each step felt like he was climbing a staircase made of lead. As he approached her room, Harold hesitated. The fear of what he might find weighed heavily on him. He pushed the door open quietly and stepped into the dim room. There she was, lying so still, the beeping of the machines echoing like a countdown. "Mom," he whispered, his heart racing. She stirred, eyes fluttering open, and then locked onto his face with a mixture of surprise and love. "Harold?" Her voice was weak, but the warmth in her gaze drilled through his fear. He rushed to her side, the world outside slipping away. In that moment, nothing else mattered. "I'm here," he said softly, squeezing her hand. It was warm. "I'm right here." But as he enveloped her in his embrace, a shadow loomed over him, a reminder of the fight he had left behind. Would his community stand strong without him by their side? Would they hear his voice echoing through their hearts? Harold released a breath he didn't know he was holding, grounding himself in the reality of his situation. He couldn't fight two battles at once, but he could prepare the way for both. And for the first time, hope mixed with despair didn't paralyze him, it ignited a fire within. As his mother shared her fears and hopes, he felt the itch of resolve growing beneath his skin. But with that resolve came another question: How could he lead when the darkness of uncertainty stretched infinitely before him? Would he find the strength to reconcile his love for family with the pressing needs of his community? And as he looked into her eyes, he wondered if he could inspire the same determination he saw in Sarah and the others even from afar. Harold squeezed his mother's hand tighter, feeling the familiar warmth engulf him in solace. Her frail smile was grounding, the little spark in her eyes giving him a flicker of strength he hadn't expected. He could feel the chaos of the outside world, the urgency of the community's fight, but here, in this room, a different battle raged, one of hope against despair. "What happened, Harold?" she asked softly, her voice a fragile thread in the air. "It's a lot, Mom," he responded, forcing a smile. "But I'm here now. We can talk about how you're feeling and about everything else later." He wanted to protect her from the outside noise, to keep her spirit buoyant. She nodded, her gaze holding him steady. "You're always so worried about everyone else. Just remember, I can take care of myself too." Harold felt a rush of emotions. His mother, always so strong, had once been his anchor. Now it was his turn to be hers. "I know. But you know how much you mean to me. I need to make sure you're okay," he said, his voice thickening. The room wasn't just filled with machines and sterile light. It felt alive with unspoken fears and unfulfilled dreams. He sat closer, inches from her face, soaking in every moment. He needed to remember not just his mother's strength but also her resilience. Suddenly, the door creaked open, and a nurse slipped inside, clipboard in hand. "Sorry to interrupt," she said kindly. "Just checking on your vitals, Mrs. McKinnon." As the nurse went about her work, filling the air with the sounds of soft beeping and occasional rustling, Harold's mind drifted. He wrestled with the knowledge that Sarah and the others were out there fighting without him. His heart ached for them. They needed him. But how could he leave like this? Would they understand? "Do you think they can do it without me?" Harold blurted, the words spilling out before he could stop them. His mother looked at him, her expression serious. "Harold, you taught them to fight. You gave them a voice. They're not just relying on you, they're standing for what you believe in. You have to trust them." Her words cut through the fog of uncertainty, each syllable resonating in his heart. Could he really trust them? They were strong, he had seen it. But doing so felt like stepping out a door he had been conditioned to keep shut. "Mom," he began, but she raised her hand gently. "Trust isn't about giving up, it's about believing in what you've built together. You've created a community. Now let them show you what they can do." Harold's chest expanded at her words. There was a truth there he hadn't fully accepted. He had invested blood, sweat, and tears into this community. They were more than allies, they were family. "I've always wanted you to be proud of me," he admitted, looking deep into her eyes. "But I don't know if I can do it alone." "Harold, you're not alone. You've never been alone." He stayed silent, the weight of her voice anchoring him. His mother's courage enveloped him, her strength seeping into his bones. The battle wasn't just a physical one against the outside, it was within him too, a fight for belief in what they had all fought for. As the nurse finished her tasks and nodded at them both with a warm smile, Harold made a decision. "Once I know you're okay, I'm going back." "Good," she replied, pride lacing her voice. "And don't forget, sometimes the best leaders lead from afar." With every sound in the room merging into a quiet hum, he felt a renewed spark ignite inside. They could fight even without him physically there. It was time to find a way to inspire from a distance, to trust in the community he had built. And just as he was about to share his next thought, the phone buzzed again in his pocket, a reminder that time in the outside world was slipping away. The urgent voices were calling. Would he answer? The moment was pivotal. He realized he could embrace both worlds, the love of family and the duty to his community. But lingering questions weighed on him. Would he have the courage to step back into that fight? Would Sarah and the others still believe in him, even if he wasn't he? There physically, in that moment, the boundaries blurred between where he needed to be and who he'd become, leaving him teetering between two paths. What awaited him on the other side of that decision? Harold's phone buzzed persistently, pulling him out of his mother's reassuring gaze. He glanced down, the screen lighting up with messages from Sarah, updates from the community, and urgent requests for his guidance. The weight of each notification felt heavier than the last, a reminder that while he sought solace here, chaos lurked just beyond the hospital doors. His heart raced as he read through the texts. "Need your insight on the meeting tomorrow," one said. "We can't hold the rally without your voice," another chimed in. Each message was a tether to the outside world, and with each vibration, he felt the pull stronger. But here, in this room filled with memories and love, he found an unexpected calm. "Who's that?" his mother asked, peering at the phone in his hand. "Just the team," he replied, trying to sound casual. "They're checking in." She raised an eyebrow, not convinced. "You know they can manage without you for a little while longer." "I know," he said, summoning all his resolve. "But I've never been good at sitting idle while they're in the trenches." "What if you turned the tables?" she suggested, a spark igniting in her eyes. "What if you organized everything from here? You can use your voice without being there physically." The thought hung in the air, sweet like fresh lemonade on a summer afternoon. Harold shook his head, skeptical but intrigued. "But how?" "They need me in person." "The energy of it all, the connection energy can be felt, even through a screen." "You have the power to inspire, no matter the medium," she countered gently, squeezing his hand. He imagined it using his laptop in this very room, guiding his community through the various channels they had built together. He could bring them hope, even while remaining close to his mother. "I just don't want them to think I'm abandoning them," he murmured. "Then tell them the truth. Show them your strength is rooted in love for all of you." Her words wrapped around him, comforting and uplifting. Maybe he didn't have to choose between them, perhaps he could combine his roles. He could be a leader and a son at the same time. As that idea crystallized in his mind, he straightened up. "Okay. Let us set the stage, Mom. I'll research how to help organize the rally remotely. Get people hyped for it without actually being there." A proud smile blossomed on her face, lighting up the room. "That's my boy." But in the back of his mind, the nagging doubt lingered. What if the community clung to the physical connection? What if his absence at such a crucial time weakened their spirit? Just then, his phone buzzed again, and he felt his heart lurch at the implications of answering. As he reluctantly placed the phone down, feeling the undercurrent of anxiety ripple through him, his mother leaned closer. "Harold, every leader faces moments of uncertainty. Believe in them. Believe in yourself. You've come too far to let fear hold you back now." A teardrop clung to the corner of Harold's eye. He wiped it away, the surge of emotions almost overwhelming. "Mom, what if I fail? What if you soar?" She countered, her tone shifting to one of fierce encouragement. "What if they surprise you?" The thought of them rising up together, thriving even when he wasn't there felt electrifying. "Okay. Let us do this," he said, determination flooding him. He picked up his phone, ready to respond, but just as he was about to type, another vibration came through, demanding his attention. His heart sank as he saw the name. It was Sarah, her plea for him to come now echoing in his mind. The urgency weighed like stone, making the decision even harder. Would he respond to Sarah next, or would he start building a bridge to connect his two worlds? As uncertainty swirled inside him, the air thick with emotion, he realized that this moment could define not just his fight, but the unity of the community he had forged. The choice loomed, heavy with stakes. He could hardly fathom what direction would he take next. Harold stared at his phone, the screen glowing with Sarah's message. It was as if the world outside was calling him back, tempting him with the familiarity of what he had helped build. Yet, in this room framed by memories, he felt a pull unlike any other. He glanced at his mother, who was watching him, her eyes mirroring his struggle. "Go ahead," she urged softly. "Answer her. But you can talk about your ideas for the rally too. Show them you're still with them." He nodded, taking a deep breath to steady himself. With his heart pounding, he pressed his thumb on the screen and typed a quick response. "I'm here for you all. Let us make a plan for the rally tomorrow. I'll find a way to contribute even if I can't be there in person." Pushing send felt liberating. For the first time in a while, he felt that spark of hope ignite. They were all in this together, he reminded himself. He was still part of it, even if it was from miles away. Minutes passed, and the response from Sarah came swiftly. "We need you. The energy is electric, but I'll figure out how to get you involved from there." Her enthusiasm seeped through the words, igniting a warmth in Harold's chest. Maybe they could pull this off, and he wouldn't be absent at all. His phone buzzed again, this time a whole thread of encouragement from the community reacting to his message. The weight of friendship seemed to fortify his resolve. "See?" His mother grinned, her voice full of pride. "You're their backbone, Harold. Even from here, you guide them. That's what leadership really is." He laughed softly, album covers of laughter echoing around the room. "Guess I didn't realize just how much I could still do." But as the laughter subsided, a shadow of doubt lingered again. He turned his gaze towards the window, the shadows of evening creeping across the sky. What if they really needed him present, his energy, his voice? The thought rattled him, causing his stomach to churn. "Hey, what are you thinking?" his mother asked, picking up on his change in demeanor. "What if my words aren't enough? What if they feel like I've abandoned them without being there?" His mother shook her head. "You're not abandoning anyone. You're finding a new way to fight for them. Remember, you're their voice because you care, and that's not limited to just being there in person." She was right. It echoed in his heart, but the nagging worry couldn't shake off that easily. He felt torn between duty and family. But for every moment he felt pulled towards despair, another burst of retrospection brought him back to hope. "Okay," he sighed, "I'll send out a message tonight, something that embodies how proud I am of them. They should know I believe in them even from here. We'll kick off the energy online tonight." His resolve was strengthening. He reached for his laptop, excitement mingling with nerves. But as he opened it, a message flashed on the screen, stopping him cold. "We can't do this without you, Harold." It was from another longtime member of the community. His heart tightened. Just as he was about to reply, the hospital inched into focus. The tang of antiseptic and the bustle in the halls reminded him of the delicate situation with his mother still lounging in the small bed. Everything was so intertwined. The joy of possibility, the concern for his mother, it all mingled together, creating an intricate dance of emotions. "You okay?" his mother asked softly. "Not really," he admitted. "I just want to make sure I'm doing right by everyone." She smiled knowingly. "That's why you're a leader. You care too much. But remember, that caring can reach far beyond physical bounds. You're not just a body on the front lines, you're a spirit, a voice that resonates even louder through screens." He felt his resolve stealing, but still, the indecision clouded him. How could he balance it all? As he reached for the keyboard, another message notification interrupted, and his heart raced at the familiar name. It was a group chat with his team. "Harold, we can't decide on the speaker lineup without you." The grip of anxiety tightened again. This was it, a definitive moment that could spiral them into success or create even more doubts. "Mom," he whispered, staring at the screen with wild eyes, "what if I can't do both?" "Then choose to believe in yourself, son. There's beauty in both paths. Whatever you decide, the journey will shape who you become." Just then, the question hit him with electrifying clarity. Was he ready to take a leap into the unknown? His heart raced as he realized that the answer could change everything. Would he rise to unite them, or let the fear consume him whole? With a deep breath, he leaned closer to the laptop, fingers hovering above the keys, heart caught in a whirlwind of emotion. What decision would he make next? And would it be enough to pull his worlds together? Harold's fingers danced over the keyboard, pausing mid-action as realization settled around him. He wasn't just stepping away from one fight to support another. He was merging them into a powerful force of voice that could echo through both realms of love and struggle. With newfound determination, he typed. Hey everyone, I know I can't be there tonight, but my heart is with you. Together, we can make this rally a beacon of hope. I'll help from here, guiding and cheering you on. The words felt liberating, as if he were releasing the tension that had built up in his soul. As his message sent, the warm glow of acceptance enveloped him, even as he felt the shroud of worry lift just a little. Did you send the message? His mother asked, her eyes sparkling with pride amidst the hospital's harsh light. Yeah, and I think it's going to be all right. A sense of purpose washed over him, everything that had pulled at him and tore at his heart ties now beautifully bound together. The community needed him, and he needed them. Harold, look at where you've come from. You're no longer just one person standing up for a diner. You've created a team, a movement. She smiled at him, and in that gaze, he felt her strength seep into him, as if she were transferring that resilience directly into his heart. Just then, Harold's phone buzzed again, and this time it was a flood of messages from his community reacting to his earlier post. We believe in you. We can feel your energy from here. You've got this, Harold. Each message ignited another spark in him, turning the crowd of words into a roaring fire of hope. It hit him like a wave, the realization that they trusted him, not just as a leader physically present, but as a guiding spirit, eager to uplift, ignite courage, and keep the flames of determination burning bright. As the nurse finished her duties and left the room, Harold leaned closer to his mother. Mom, you always taught me the importance of family and community. You showed me love through hard times, and now I see the same love reflected in my friends who are fighting. They're not just fighting for a diner, they're fighting for belonging, for the future. And you made that possible, Harold, she replied, her voice a whisper filled with warmth. He looked up, the newfound clarity shining in his eyes. I can't abandon either of you. It's time for me to organize, keep the fight alive, and nurture what both sides need. It's about showing love, not just with presence, but through action. Exactly, she nodded. And you can keep each part of your heart close while filling the world around you with light. Suddenly, inspiration struck him. Let's get a video set up. I'll speak from here, stream the rally to encourage them. If I can't be there physically, I'll guide and cheer them on just like I've always done. His mother beamed, a radiant smile illuminating her face. Now that's a plan. And your voice will carry over any distance. They will hear you. Her voice was filled with conviction. As he pulled out his laptop and set it up beside her, ringing, the changes of coming together filled the room like the scent of blooming flowers in spring. He reached out to set up the live stream and shared the news with his friends, his teammates who had been battling through their own doubts. Hold on to that fire. Tonight, we stand together, even if we're apart. His fingers flew across the keys as he typed. Let us rally with purpose, unity, and love. Moments later, notifications lit up with responses echoing his call. Let us do this. You inspire us, always. See you on screen. As the time ticked down, a wave of excitement surged through him. He could feel the energy, a palpable force that transcended the walls of the hospital. Harold took a deep breath, grounding himself in his purpose. This was the moment where both his worlds could intertwine, giving life to a legacy he had always believed in, but never fully embraced. Are you ready? He asked his mother, squeezing her hand. More than ever. With that, he hit the Go Live button. The streaming window opened, showing faces behind. Screens, eager for connection and ready for change. Good evening, everyone. I'm coming to you from the heart of our community, and my own. As he spoke, Harold felt the warmth of his words reach beyond the screen and back to the hospital room, merging the essence of family and solidarity into a powerful message of hope and resilience. He saw faces nodding, feelings echoing through screens. He wasn't just talking to them, he was channeling their shared dreams, their combined fight against the shadows they faced each day. In this fight, we breathe as one. The words slipped from his mouth like an anthem, fierce and unwavering. He watched fervently as participants chimed in, connecting and encouraging each other, building their own strength as a united front determined not to back down. Tears surged in his eyes as he felt the energy flow through him. In that moment, he knew he could be both the devoted son in the hospital and the passionate leader rallying his community. The battle for justice had begun anew, transforming and lighting paths that once seemed cut in two. As the rally advanced, the joy expanded, mingling with the hope and determination that wrapped around him like a warm embrace. Love flourished everywhere, sewing bonds stronger than steel, the kind of ties that held communities together and families close, no matter the distance. Finally, the night melted into a promise of tomorrows filled with resilience, strength, and faith in one another. Harold smiled at his mother, who now glowed with pride. "Thank you for showing me the way." "Always, my son," she replied softly, her heart as full as his in that moment. With truth intertwined with love and justice, they knew this was just the beginning of a new chapter, filled with more powerful voices united for change. As he continued to speak, Harold felt a profound peace wash over him. Life would be a constant balancing act, but now he faced it with a heart wide open, unyielding hope, and arms ready to embrace all. Together, we rise. We fight not just for us, but for generations to come. And as the words echoed through the digital space, they resonated throughout the diner, trailing hope like stardust, lighting the way for all who dared to dream. Now more than ever, their voices echoed, carrying a melody of strength and love through tenacity, a song that promised tomorrow would indeed shine brighter. With each passing moment, the world was changing. They would make sure of it together. To everyone watching this story unfold, you need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and let it know you want more heartwarming stories like this. Comment your reactions below, share your feelings about this ending. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.